Hey everybody, Greg Pruitt here with Idaho Dispatch, and I am joined today by Mr. Doug Traubel. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking time to do an interview. Tell everybody who you are, what you're running for, and why you're doing it.
Sure. Doug Traubel, running for Ada County Sheriff. This is technically my third time doing it. I was supposed to be appointed back in the 2021 process when Sheriff Bartlett stepped down. I was the number one candidate, voted in that position by the Ada County Republican Central Committee, but the commissioners brought back, voted with the Democrat, and put the number 3 guy in. So in essence, he offended the Central Committee twice, once by passing over the number 1 person, again by passing over the number 2 person, and then going to the bottom and putting the number 3 person in office. And then I challenged him in the May 22 primary, because when you're appointed, you have to be avail yourself to the next public election. So I challenged him there. I got 34.4% of the vote, and now I'm back again. And why am I running? Because I'm very concerned about the direction of the country, certainly, and the state. I don't like this slide to Seattle that we're seeing in Idaho. You see it. You see the culture most represented in the city of Boise with the mayor there, which is a culture thing. But part of the revolution is a culture war that affects how policing is done as well. So I want effective policing that also defends our God-given rights. You know, the sheriff is the CLEO, the chief law enforcement officer in the county. It's very important who you put in office, that sheriff understands, yes, he needs to fight crime effectively without the handicap of the social justice mentality infecting many administrations throughout the country, but also has the courage to stand between the citizen and overreach. If, for example, the likes of COVID come back around, like COVID 2.0 comes around, right? Your sheriff has jurisdiction throughout the entire county. That includes cities in the county. And he has a duty, oath-bound duty, to interpose on behalf of the citizen. And so that's my philosophy. That's why I'm running. I have concerns about the lack of effective law enforcement in the agency, the Ada County Sheriff's Office. I think things can be improved greatly in how the job's done, but also balancing that with protecting the rights of the citizen. And that takes a constitutional lens and the courage to flex when you need to against overreach, so that the citizen stays a citizen and doesn't become a subject.
Okay. So would your main, I guess, disagreement with the current Republican sheriff, Matt Clifford, is that he would not, if COVID 2.0 comes around or something similar to it, that he would not stand up for the rights of Ada County residents? Is that what?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, and I believe that to be the case because Jackie Davidson, who is a precinct committee woman, interviewed him during the selection process. I'm going back to 2021 now.
Okay.
And there were 6 people, and then 3, and then the final 3 went to the commissioners. She was vetting the candidates and asked him the same question she asked me, and she's on record with his answer. I have to paraphrase the answer, but the question was along the lines of, did you, Matt, have any problem with what happened at the courthouse when people were arrested for failure to appear when they wouldn't wear masks and therefore were denied entry to the courthouse? Now, he wasn't sheriff at the time, but he was working in the sheriff's office. So she posed that question to both he and I about, what do you think about that? My answer was, it was violated Article 1, Section 18 of the state constitution, which guarantees free and open access to the courts without delay and without prejudice. So my answer was, I wouldn't have arrested anybody for failure to appear. My oath's not to a judge.
Yeah.
To the Constitution, I would have had my deputies take them into the courtroom. If the judge didn't want to hold court, that's on him. Matt, in essence, said, and you can check with Jackie Davidson, she's on record, and she actually shared an email with me, so I'm very confident, paraphrasing her answer to what he said was basically had no problem with what happened that day. Well, if you have no problem with what happened that day, then I have no confidence in you in the future. The same thing would happen again, that you would not interpose. You're just going to roll along with whatever authority? No. Your oath is not to a person. It's to 2 constitutions. And baked into that oath is what's called the doctrine of lesser magistrate, which is an expectation, a duty, to defend the constitutional rights of the people, and by interposing, by running interference, so that freedom can live.
Okay. You said this is your 3rd time running. You ran in the primary against him previously. This time you're running in the general election as a member, or running on, I should say, on the Constitution Party of Idaho ticket. Third party challenges are certainly more difficult in this country. What is your goal, and how do you reach out to those Republican voters most likely that are typical of saying, hey, well, here's the Republican candidate. So how do you reach those voters? How do you bridge that gap to to have a chance at winning?
Yeah, what you're really, shedding light on is the human nature aspect of this, where a lot of people don't pay attention until a few days before the election, then they vote straight R, typically, right? So that is a challenge. It's a challenge to make people realize that Republican and conservative are not synonyms. Okay, and to vote principle over party. I, as a chess move, left the Republican Party for the Constitution Party, specifically so that I could be an option in November. Had I run as a Republican back in May, I would have lost the primary. I mean, I just common sense. Anyone can see that probably would have happened, right? So it was a chess move. Now, I certainly embraced the platform of the Constitution Party, just as I do the Republican Party. They're both great platforms. So this is a chess move. So to better answer your question, what we're doing is a lot of social media, a lot of town halls, and then taking the footage from those town halls and trying to extend our reach. I still have a lot of support within the Central Committee, and there's been a change of the guard there for the better. And so I have a lot of support in that body itself. Now that body itself is not going to get me in office alone, right? But I know that people in there are getting the message out that I'm the true conservative in this race. And so it's a combination of meet and greets and social media, and we have some other things coming up to try to get the message out, on radio and what have you. So it's not an easy thing to do, because human nature is just like kind of what we're talking about. You go into the booth and you R all the way down, almost like a muscle memory. So people can understand how different I am, and that I understand my oath. And it's not just a photo op when I took my oath, right? Like so many people, it's not. I feel a sense of duty to defend our rights, our God-given rights. And so that's really the main difference, and in more effective policing. So people can understand that I offer more effective policing and will interpose on their behalf. Then it's a no-brainer. Doug's the conservative. But it is a challenge. I don't dispute that.
Sure. Okay. Well, in closing, I always let candidates kind of do their message to their potential constituents, number one, and then we always allow candidates to plug their website or wherever they can go to learn more about you and all that stuff. So feel free.
Well, I imagine many reviewers voted with their feet, that it's better than whatever woke, broken, crime-ridden area they came from. They voted with their feet that Ada County is a better place to be. And I'm asking them to stand with me in defending it from here becoming there, the there they left. And so I'm asking them to vet me. You can go to my website, dougforsheriff.com, learn more about me. My email is on there as well. I'll take any questions. Look, our quality of life is in jeopardy here if we don't get effective policing that isn't hamstrung by social justice. The sheriff's office has been infected for some time now with this requirement for implicit bias training, which is a spin-off of CRT. It doesn't reveal a subconscious bias in the deputy, and it insists they have it. And when they're made to go through this training over and over again, they become less proactive. So you can double or triple the number of deputies, and crime still goes up if they don't feel as though the sheriff backs them, even if the optics are bad. Now, if the behavior is truly bad, then we need to hold officers accountable. Someone needs to police the police, so it's a balance. But law enforcement is a confrontational job. So I want a culture that is proactive, where the deputies have confidence that the sheriff's going to back them as long as their actions are righteous within law and policy, right? And I want the public to be confident that the sheriff's out there taking care of business, meaning fighting crime, right? But also defending their rights. So again, dougforsheriff.com to learn more about my ideas that include a reserve program, reserve deputy program, a posse, and other ideas. You'll learn more on dougforsheriff.com. Thank you, Greg.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.